Broadcasting from the Blanchardstown Centre. This is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is Sparta!
All your bases are belong to us.
It's a trap 9000!
That's electromagnetic. Leave Benny alone!
Leroy Dragon!
Objection!
The balls are inert.
Time to
And now it begins.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd to Know Media podcast. My name is Kieran Calicorn and we have a special episode this week featuring the creative team behind Shurikon. Guys, would you please introduce yourselves?
Hi there, I'm Fimber, the volunteer manager for Shurikon this year.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Maeve. I'm the public relations officer for Shurikon.
Fantastic. And finally?
And I'm Mark, the director of the Shurikon.
That's fantastic. I can almost see the director's chair and the parade from here, despite it being radio.
I wouldn't quite say it's as glamorous as that, but sure, let's go with that.
So, before we get into all the special announcements and things, we had you guys on once before around Christmas. Did you guys have a lovely Christmas?
Pretty much, yeah. It was fun.
Merry.
Yeah. That sounded very sinister.
Hence the name. I mean, I just ate food. I literally just got fat. That's it. I put on weight.
That's what Christmas is for.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. That was effectively it. You know, that's what it's for. And I did it.
You were preparing yourself for losing all the weight when you're running around the con next week.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm cultivating mass. I'm putting on some calories, some serious calories.
I like that. Strategically placed fat. I like it. That's fantastic, guys. And we are coming up now to the launch date for Shurikon, which I believe is the 15th and 16th. How are you guys feeling about that after so many weeks of preparation?
Pretty excited. So somewhere between excited and still full of stress.
Yeah, it's very much the preparation, as far as I'm concerned, is going great. But that doesn't at all take away the butterflies in my stomach from less than 2 weeks. Oh God, it's next week. Oh God.
Yep. 1 week away.
7 days.
One more week. One more week.
Well, guys, as someone going to it, and gratefully you are giving us a panel, which I'll go into more details about later. But I noticed this week, before we get into the special guests, that all of your panel times were announced on your Instagram. Are there any panels that particularly jump out at you or that you're excited to attend?
Unfortunately, I don't get to attend panels, really. I'm looking at them all, and they all look wonderful. And I wish I could just have a normal con day, but alas, it's the second I try to attend, if I wanted to attend a panel, I'd step in, and then I would definitely get a walkie-talkie call being Mark, we need your help. Come hither. And I'm okay, time to leave. So, I mean, if I have time, definitely. I am, to be honest, excited to see the JoJo panel, if I can, because I've hosted a JoJo panel twice now at JCon, and one of my friends who's been to the panels, she's taking it on. So she's effectively carrying the torch of the JoJo quiz show, and I am excited to see how that goes.
That's wonderful. And speaking of JoJo, I believe this segues rather nicely into our special guests. Would you like to tell the wonderful people listening at home who we can see at Shurikon?
You are going to see Billy Kametz. He is a LA-based voice actor, and he's known for quite a few roles. I suppose I wouldn't say his biggest and possibly his most favorite is Josuke Higashikata. God, I hope I pronounced that right. From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. He's the main JoJo in it, in the English dub. And yeah, I'm really excited because I'm a huge JoJo fan. And I think, if anything, Part 4 is one of the better dubbed versions of it's probably the best dubbed version of the JoJo's. So I'm quite excited to meet JoJo, you know?
For people listening at home, because I must confess, I have not seen JoJo yet, but what is kind of the thinking behind the JoJo anime? Because I believe it takes place in different time periods every series and all that kind of stuff. Would you like to give a quick lift pitch?
How do I explain JoJo?
It's bizarre.
For anyone listening at home, it is called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It lives up to its name.
It's oddly homosexual and very flamboyant. You know, it's muscly. It's very muscly men in very tight fitting clothes, all very colorful and just bizarre and flamboyant and crazy and wonderful. And yeah, it's totally worth watching. Part 1 and 2 kind of are very separate to part 3 onwards. You know, it's like, again, like you said, it's different timelines, but I won't even spoil anything. It's just that the creator, Araki, just kind of looked at part 1 and 2 as like, you know what? Screw that. Part 3 is completely different. So I won't spoil anything, but if anybody who watches JoJo is listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hamon, nah, we got this thing called stands. Oh.
And I'm guessing you're all JoJo fans, are you?
I've never actually got around to watching it yet, much to my shame.
Lads, we have to do a lot of homework before next week.
You guys are all blasphemers. Oh my god.
What can I say?
Like, random clips, and I've seen the first part, and I was very confused, and I have trouble explaining it to other people, which I feel like is partially the point somehow. But yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah. I feel like in recent years I've taken all the spare time that I would spend watching anime and utilized that helping run anime conventions.
Yeah, you're just a slave.
It's like a paradox.
You're like guiding people across the river to the confusing anime land.
That's it.
No, that's glamorizing it. He's like, if you ever see Spirited Away, you know Kamaji.
Yeah.
He's like, so this in context of Finbar, he's like, I am Finbar, slave to the conventions.
I fully expect to see, because I haven't actually met you in person, but I fully expect to see like a captain's pirate as soon as we arrive, like guiding us across Ainger Street in a little raft.
He definitely has the beard for it. He definitely has the beard for it. All he needs is an eye patch and a little bit of scurvy, and you know
well, he's got a week.
For next week. Just stop eating fruit and vegetables and get an eye patch. You know,
I feel like if you've got scurvy, you're probably doing piracy wrong.
What do you mean? Can't be a pirate.
Isn't the whole
scurvy.
It's the whole point of being a pirate not to get scurvy?
I don't know. I feel like you're committed though.
Yeah, like you go out to sea for long enough, you're going to run out of fruit. I mean, I've never been to sea and I've had scurvy from running out of fruit. That is a different story for a different day.
Had scurvy? What?
I've had scurvy
Maeve,
twice.
we have an hour.
Okay, so we kind of confirmed that Maeve's a pirate.
I gotta be honest, as someone who's worked with you in theater, I get that from your attitude.
That I'm a pirate or that I get scurvy a lot?
Well, I mean, whichever's the most glamorous to you.
Of course, yes.
Here, quick question. What's your favorite spirit?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Spirited Away. God, it's getting confusing.
I was kind of like trying to see if she's a pirate or not, because you know any pirate would say rum.
I mean, I was gonna say rum, and I'm a little
there
ashamed.
we go. Scurvy, rum, you're a pirate.
It's okay. You can bring us in rum donuts on the day.
That sounds fun.
Rum
I would
soaked
make those.
donuts.
Getting back to Billy Kametz for a sec, I must confess I hadn't seen JoJo, but I had seen him in the equally confusing Neon Genesis Evangelion, and to my horror, he is Anai from Agratsuko, who, if you haven't seen that on Netflix, appears in series 2, and he is the most terrifying character in that whole show. Have you seen Agratsuko at all?
I have seen it.
Episodes.
I love it, and he freaked me out so much, and then I was like, oh, he seems all right. And I'm kind of neutral about him. Because he's psychotic but relatable.
Very psychotic but relatable. And we'll edit this out if needs be, but I'm guessing it's okay to say that the Nerd No Media team will be chatting with him on the day.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if he's not pulled over, we have let him know that you guys want to talk to him. So, you might get a quick word in. Who knows?
Excellent. We'll just grab some audio from Agretsuko if he doesn't turn up, which, is good leverage if nothing else. So, but that's going to be my thing is, what are you guys, since you're obviously huge fans, what's the first thing you're going to ask him when you meet him?
Okay, so fun fact, I'm not going to disclose it just in case any fans decide to show up. I'm going to be picking him up at the airport. The plan is, if you've ever seen, there's this photo of Josuke and it's like he's shouting and it's like the camera's all shaky and it's just love hearts. Instead of getting like a sign with somebody's name on it, I'm just going to hold that up at like the arrival thing. He's going to want to turn back absolutely like straight away. He's going to be like, oh God, what have I signed up for? I'll be like, hi, Billy, nice to meet you. Can I get you to say something? And the reason I want him to say this is there's a scene in part 4 JoJo where the main character, Josuke, punches a plate of spaghetti. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but like he just punches the spaghetti. So I'm going to.
You're not going to spoil it.
I mean,
what does that mean?
There's an in-depth reason to why he starts punching the spaghetti. Like they build a whole story on this episode of and he just punches the spaghetti for some reason, not for a very set reason, but you have to watch it to find out. But yeah, I'm going to go up to him. First thing I'm going to ask is like, can you say the line, "I'm going to punch the spaghetti"? Like the character doesn't even say I'm going to punch the spaghetti, but that's what I've kind of like instilled in my mind that he does is he says, I'm going to punch the spaghetti and then starts furiously pounding a plate of spaghetti.
See, I wish I'd known about this. I would have come dressed as spaghetti if I'd known.
And then have our guest just like beat the crap out of you.
Well, it would be a show. It'd be very memorable.
For the meme, yeah, absolutely.
That's one way to get media attention. Punching media.
Nerd to know media, more like nerd to know gets beat up media. That was a terrible part. I was trying to think beating up the nerds for the lunch money.
Meatballs.
Get it? Because you're dressed as spaghetti. Lunch money, getting beaten up. I'm formulating. I'm just very tired.
I'll give you this. There's a lot of nuance and layers to your wordplay.
There's a lot of layers, that's for sure. Nuance, maybe not so much.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I know you actually have 4 or 5 other guests. Who else are we going to meet and who you're excited to see?
So we'd be looking at our international cosplay guest is Creative Willows. She is a cosplayer from the Netherlands, and she's fantastic. Oh my god, she did a cosplay of Samus from Metroid. I don't know if she's going to actually be able to bring it or not, which kind of brings a tear to my eye because I really, really, really love Metroid. God, it's a good game. But no, she's a fantastic cosplayer. She's done fantastic builds like Mewtwo, even. It's savage.
Yes.
I can't. Is it like a demon hunter from? I'm gonna say League of Legends. I'm not too sure, but like she's just posted on her Instagram. It's like LED light up weapons and everything. It is savage. So I'm super excited. I'm super stoked.
I'd be curious to see her getting that stuff through the airport, actually.
Yeah, her MO is definitely like these massive cosplay creations. It's just really cool to see. We've actually made sure that she has the extra baggage to cover that. So she's
got a great costume with her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like we almost paid the same amount for bags as we did for the actual flights, just so she could bring these amazing builds with her. So like anybody who's into cosplay, come to Shurikon. Like you're gonna see some sick ass cosplays.
Yeah, no, like that's why we put it in the title. It's like anime, gaming, and cosplay. It's
we really do hammer home the cosplay for Shurikon, yeah.
And looking at the timetable, there is a lot of cosplay themed panels. Will your guests be doing panels as well?
They will indeed. Willow Cosplay herself will be doing a panel on Sunday morning specifically about 3D printing in cosplay.
Nice.
That's going to be a very cool one. One of our Irish cosplay guests as well, Agent Delta, will be doing a panel on Sunday evening, I believe.
Yeah, it's
discussing his processes. So yeah, we've got. I think all our guests will be having a panel at one stage over the weekend or another.
Excellent. And will they also be judging? I'm assuming there'll be a cosplay competition.
There
Oh.
will, yes.
Excellent.
will
I don't suppose
indeed.
any of you will be participating.
I might
Afraid not.
go as myself really quickly, just jump up on stage being like, and here's discount Markiplier cosplaying as Markiplier.
With special guest Spaghetti.
I mean, I could put together a spaghetti costume pretty quickly.
All you have to do is like just get a t-shirt, white t-shirt, and have somebody throw, their nice Sunday dinner at you, and boom, spaghetti cosplay.
That is
Interesting
excellent.
Sunday dinner, but sure.
And I believe you also have a YouTuber as well appearing at the convention.
That's right. We have RT Games, Irish YouTuber. He's gonna be fantastic. He's gonna be doing a Q&A session. I think he's doing a live YouTube recording as well.
Okay.
Or a live recording. That's the plan for him anyway. And hopefully we're gonna try get him to face off against Billy in a game of Smash, because Billy's is a big Smash player, and then obviously RT Games is a gaming YouTuber. So it's like, I suppose our special international guests versus our gaming guests. I'm quite excited to see how that goes.
Oh, I want to see that. What time is that at?
There's no set time per se. It's
You just have to hang out near them and hope that a brawl will start.
Smash will be playing all day. We're gonna try get them into the competition. The plan was like the winners of the Smash competition get to go off against RT and Billy, but then again, like, there is just gonna be casual Smash there, and knowing big casual smashing at Shurikon. Jesus, what did I say? You know what I mean?
I think you've got a new con name.
Yeah, casual Smash. I'd say they will be hanging out there and checking out some of the games. So, like, I am excited, regardless.
Excellent. And can I ask, as I've been watching the guest announcements over the past few weeks, how do you reach out to these cosplayers and these voice actors and YouTubers and all that kind of stuff? Like, because this seems to be a bigger roster than any of the Shurikons you've had before.
It is. One thing, just to mention, we do have one other guest which kind of falls into this, but one other cosplay guest, the Irish cosplayer Empty Cosplay. And it may have been last year or the year before. No, we realized that we kind of had accidentally set a tradition whereby the winner of our cosplay competition ended up becoming our Irish cosplay guest every year since the first Shurikon. And following that tradition, Empty Cosplay won last year and was our first announced Irish cosplayer guest this year as well.
Excellent. That's a lovely trick. Well, now I'm going to be definitely entering the competition. Is it still possible for people listening at home to sign up for the competition? Can you sign up on the day, or do you do it online beforehand?
Absolutely possible. We recommend, because obviously there is a set time frame for the cosplay competition, is that we'll always recommend sign up beforehand just to avoid disappointment. But normally it never gets to the point that if you go on the day, you'll be turned down. It never gets to that. So, both are available options. You can check out our social medias. There's always going to be sign-up forms for numerous things. Like, what we would have open now is the cosplay competition, cosplay skits, and the cosplay blind date. So those are definitely on our Facebook.
Excuse me, cosplay blind date? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think this is the first one that Shurikon's had, actually. We're very excited for that. That's going to be a panel hosted by one of our panelists. 18s plus, of course. But that's going to be fantastic. I haven't seen a cosplay blind date now on the con scene in a while. Well, at least with the cons that I've actually attended, So, and I haven't actually attended a cosplay blind date since the last Erdicon. So, like, getting to host one now at Shurikon, it's got me kind of, that'd be fun. Especially since, funny enough, the day beforehand is Valentine's Day. So there would be a lot of people, I suppose, willing to love romance in the air. We've got the spaghetti. All we need is, like, Lady and the Tramp. Bang.
You never know. Someone may dress as them.
and then you'll be there to, like, facilitate for them. Yeah.
Just Just before we get too far off track, I was double checking our submission dates, and this coming Tuesday, I believe, is the last date for pre-registering for the cosplay contest.
Lovely. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been caught out on cons for that before, so thank you very much for letting everyone at home know that. And yeah, it's I've got to say I'm intrigued by the blind date idea, because there's a second level of challenge, which is that if the date goes well, you then have to recognize each other in public afterwards, don't you?
Yeah. This might result in a Shurikon, baby. Who knows?
Well, for what it's worth,
Humans
I
well.
will be bringing my family with our little baby Primrose dressed as Deku from My Hero Academia. So
That's like already an honorary Shurikon baby, then, I guess.
an honorary Shurikon baby. So maybe in a couple of years we can have a Shurikon kindergarten thing going on, like get some family links in.
Or like have another floor, Shurikon kindergarten floor.
Well, could you imagine that? All the baby Yodas and the tiny JoJos all playing together?
That'd be very cute. And just like, I don't know, like styrofoam the entire floor so nobody gets hurt.
Oh no, the opposite. Leave them with all the like giant Final Fantasy VII swords
All the
and all that
pointy
malarkey.
things. Like the low poly Final Fantasy costumes, with all the the pointy edges on them. Just beautiful, beautiful safety hazards.
Oh, that sounds excellent. And tell me, guys, then, what has been, because I know we talked about this a bit before Christmas, but what for each of you has been the biggest challenge with putting together this convention? Because I imagine it is. I'll start with you, Finbar. What's been your biggest challenge this year?
Biggest challenge. That's a good question. Because a lot of my role tends to be, this time of the year, my biggest challenge usually ends up being Shurikon itself, just making sure that all the volunteers are where they need to be on the day. So far, the prep work has been going ridiculously well, better than I've ever seen it. So I'm thankful for that.
Well, fair play. Well, fair play to you, because I won't say names, but I've been to cons where I've been talking to the people running the volunteers, and apparently quite a lot of the time they kind of go exodus as soon as the convention starts, once they're in the doors, and then they run off and do their own thing. So have you found that to be your experience with working with volunteers before, or has it all gone smoothly?
No. My own personal experience, the volunteers have always been great and very up for working. The only problem that you tend to have is as the date comes closer, a couple of people who said they were going to volunteer, life gets in the way and you end up having some dropouts. Then got a few less people to rely on than you'd hope to have, but you always make do.
And what about yourself, Maeve? What has been your biggest challenge this year?
For me, I guess just kind of learning the ropes with running my first go at running Shurikon. I've never done PRO or anything like that before, so figuring out how to... I
roped you into that one.
You did. Mark came up to me before the thing happened, and he texted me, and he was like, Maeve, you're running for Shurikon committee, yes? And I was like, I mean, many people have said yes, so sure. It's like, well, have I got the job for you? And so I ran for PRO.
That's great. That's like superliminal recruitment. It's like, do you ever see that Simpsons where the Navy has a superliminal strategy where they just like yell, "Hey, join the Navy"?
No, it's that's an Eva net me.
That's it. Yeah.
And just played backwards. It's join the Navy.
Yeah. Now you just need to find out what "Come to Shurikon" is backwards, and we'll just keep.
Give me 5 seconds.
Put that throughout all our coverage on this coming week. Just like gently in the background as Dara talks about Undercover Boss.
It's not Naki Rush Yomke Ut. Come to Shurikon. I think
Naki Rush Yomke Ut.
Yeah, there we go.
Got a ring to it.
Akira Shapka.
So we're just gonna have to like pretend that's Japanese or something and put it at the top of the episode.
Exactly. Yeah, weeb. It's just a weeby song. That's just nice weeby song. Nothing just a little messaging or coercing.
We'll set it to ukulele or something like that. Get a nice jam going. Can I just ask, by the way, I am looking at your schedule. There's something called an all-day Sasuke hunt. What on earth is that?
An absolute abomination and potentially one of the best events we have ever come up with. The idea came from our creative director, Lana. She's full of wonderfully weird ideas that are always just great hits at Shurikon, you know. And we did it last year. The premise of it, it's not really... I don't even know if it's an event per se. It's just we're going to get really random, stupid pictures of Sasuke from Naruto, print them out, and just plaster them around the convention. There's going to be... Last year we did 8 of them anyway, and the whole thing was just find a picture of Sasuke, take a selfie with it, and, you know, post that you found all 8. You know,
little scavenger hunt.
It's just a little scavenger hunt. Just something if you got bored you could do for yourself.
Or you know, you'll be walking around the convention, you know, inevitably you'll see 1 or 2 of them just through the day-to-day, pique your interest, and you'll go searching for the rest.
It was quite funny, actually. We set Finbar a challenge that he had to find all 8 and take a picture with them. And yeah, you remember that.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. That was me being cheeky because we had a prize for the first person who would find all 8. So during the setup, the Friday of last year, I, you know, got a head start in the competition. I still didn't win, unfortunately.
As a volunteer that year, it was hilarious watching the con-goers get really, really into it. They came up to random volunteers and they're like, "Hey, I heard Sasuke was here. Where is he?" And he'd be like, "I don't know. I haven't seen him." And then, like, they'd be standing facing us, and the poster of Sasuke would be behind them on a pillar, and I'd just be like, "Don't laugh. Do not laugh." And find it themselves.
Okay, and I suppose since we're talking about Naruto, were you guys? That's completely off topic. Were you guys aware of the mass Naruto run last year that people tried to get into Area 51?
Oh God, yeah, that was plastered on the internet. That was horrendous. That was like, oh God, it was so funny, but what the hell?
I was delighted to hear that there were actual like security press briefings for in case a million people turned up and tried to do it.
People did turn up though, didn't they?
They did, not in the millions that Facebook said they would, but like you know, but still a decent amount.
I think there was like at least 1,000, if not more.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you organize an Ainger Street Naruto run?
Okay, so I was trying to do that. That was something I suggested to the committee as part of like a promotional thing for Shurikon. And once I kind of started looking into it, the amount of like it is such a health and safety hazard, and the amount of work that you have to organize to effectively shut down a road so that people can run is. And like,
I was just talking about in the corridors, like that's wow, that's ambitious.
Oh no, that's what I do. Is I just kind of shoot out really big, stupid ideas, and sometimes people are like, "Hey, that's kind of funny." Other times people are like, "Mark, just shut up." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, in the corner that would be funny, but again, it's like insurance,
health and safety.
Yeah, it's. I hate that has to be a potential hazard, but unfortunately it is. And, you know, if that was, we could have thought of that. If we thought about it early enough, it could absolutely be organized. But, you know, there's always next year. Why not?
Next year.
The insurance for the Naruto run. I'd love to see that on a form and just see someone at FBD like scratching their head going.
It's like, you know, that scene from SpongeBob where SpongeBob pranks the fish and the guy's like, "You did what?" Yeah, that's like the building management when we hand in the form, like insurance for Naruto running. They're like, "You what?"
I mean, in all fairness, we did have some paperwork to fill out for last year's Dragon Ball.
Oh God! Stop.
World
That was
record.
horrendous.
Oh my goodness! I remember you telling us about that. Yeah.
So you know, it's not. It's
like everything we want to do, even if it seems like the most basic of tasks, it's like you need insurance for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like to give out, because we'll be giving out Red Bull at the convention. And yeah, everyone's like, you need insurance to give out Red Bull. It's like, why?
To be fair, I actually do agree with that one. Like, Red Bull is not from this earth. There's something odd about it.
Okay, yeah, okay, no, that's just a general safety hazard of drinking too many of them. You know, it does. It gives you wings. It really does give you wings.
Yeah.
No, that stuff is good. I'm a caffeine junkie, and it has got me through many an all-nighter assignment. So, yes, it may not be from this earth, but God, do I love it.
All right, guys, we are just at half an hour, so we will take a quick break for ads, and then we will hear more from the creative team behind Shurikon. Please stay with us. Thank you very much. Welcome back to Nerds Who Know Media. I'm still here with the wonderful creative team behind Shurikon. Guys, thank you for staying on for the second half hour. Before we get into anything kind of nonsensy, I believe there's actually quite a noble cause behind why you're doing this con. Maeve, would you like to tell us what it is?
Yes. Every year, Shurikon donates all of the proceeds from the convention itself to a chosen charity. This year, that charity is Jigsaw, which is a youth mental health organization that helps to provide support and counseling for teens and young adults suffering with mental health issues.
Wow. And like, I noticed you were you mentioned at my last show, actually, that you were fundraising on a live stream over Christmas. Is that right?
Yes. Back before Christmas, we had a 24-hour live stream where 70% of the profits went to Jigsaw, and the rest would go toward funding Shurikon. So we raised over €2,000 in total, so about...
It's 2020, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, 2020 for Shurikon 2020.
Yeah. Well, you know what to raise next year, then.
2021, no more, no less.
Exactly.
That's fun. That's fantastic, and it's great that because it's great that you're going to all that work to put the money into all of these noble causes. Was there a specific reason you went with that charity?
It was mostly just because it's one that's very close to our hearts, as people in the age range that Jigsaw helps a lot. We're all 18 to 20-year-olds, and a lot of the people who come to our con are younger than us. We get a lot of teenagers from 15 to 18, and we even get some kids as well. So it's good to us to raise awareness that there is this facility for kids, especially introverted kids, which a lot of nerds are, to know that there are people they can talk to if they're not sure if they can talk to the people that they're close to.
That's a very good point. And you're right, actually, because our experience of being at conventions is that when people are dressed up, or even just among other kind of fanny people, they kind of get to self-actualize in a comfortable way that they may not necessarily do in day-to-day life. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
I would.
Well, that's fantastic. And and is there anywhere that we can kind of find out a bit more information about Jigsaw, or anywhere like that? Is it on your page, or?
Yeah, Jigsaw has their own website. You just look up Jigsaw or Jigsaw Ireland, and they have an abundance of information, contact sources, the whole shebang. There are also locations around Dublin. I know there's one in Tala where you can go in and physically speak to people in person from Jigsaw. In terms of our website, I think we have them listed on the website.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
We've tagged them in
down.
quite a few of our posts as well, and vice versa, So
yeah, they're also very active on social media. So if you were to message their Facebook or their Instagram, or to at them in any way, then they would be quick to respond, or give a little support if you're just I don't know, if you post a nice picture of yourself and you're like, I feel good today, and then you at Jigsaw and they're like, great, we're happy for your mental health, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I've got to say, looking at the events, I've a lot of the panels and things, apart from ours, which is called the Disney Star Wars Postmortem. I noticed that all of your events are incredibly wholesome. And one that jumped out at me was your screening My Neighbor Totoro. Whose idea was that then?
Okay, so that's just like, that's one of those things that kind of goes without saying, because I suppose one of the things since, at least since I joined Shurikon anyway, I'm quite sure it was since day one, I think Finbar can confirm this, is that in actuality, Shurikon is run by most glorious leader Totoro. We've got a big Totoro plushie, and it's just kind of, he's pulling the strings of the con director who's pulling the strings, you know?
Yeah.
So
Totoro has for years been the unofficial mascot of the DIT, or now TUD, Japan
you
Animation Society.
Dublin, I'll have you know. They're very insistent on that. Yeah.
It will always be DIT in my heart. Ever since graduated before the name change.
Yeah. You get to keep bragging rights. I have to go to business and be like, I graduated from TU Dublin. You don't know what that is because it was DIT, but it's fine.
Yeah, no,
it's. I've got to say, Maeve, I almost saw the hair flick.
I felt the hair flick. There's a quick breeze. I'm like, oh, where did that come from?
Channeling all the classy characters I've played in the past.
That's right, actually. In the play that, not to get too personal, but in the play that was never to be last year, you were that kind of character in Private Lives, weren't you?
Yeah, I was very much, a very dramatic little asshole of a character, and it was great.
It was no coward, though. They're all like dramatic assholes.
Exactly, yes. My favorite part was definitely when I was holding my fiancé husband, unfaithful man, by the leg, and I was just like, no! Don't leave me! And he had to drag me across the stage while I was just gripping his ankle.
Sounds like a standard Saturday for me.
It was hard to actually tell the rehearsals apart from just standard empty DIT rooms. Sorry, TUD rooms.
Yeah.
EU Dublin.
Calm yourself, it's fine.
Excellent. Well, actually, not to get too sidetracked into our personal dramatics, but this is very timely because not sure if you guys know, but recently Netflix have put, I think, most of the Studio Ghibli catalog on their platform. I'm guessing you guys are diehard Ghibli fans, are you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they have been putting them on in a staggered process over a number of days.
Yeah, there's 7 of them at the moment, I think. Ish.
Yeah, so over the course of the next month, I think they're due to put the rest of them in.
My understanding of it is it's 7 on the 1st of February, March, and April.
Oh, is that it? It's going to be over the course of like a few months.
Yes.
Okay.
And tell me something, guys. I know Totoro is up there, but do you guys have a favorite Ghibli or like?
Oh, that's difficult. Yeah, that's very difficult. Okay, so like I think my favorite one, and this is going to sound really cliche, is Spirited Away. That's kind of like a movie that I'll watch at least 2 or 3 times a year, and every time without fail, I proper bawl my eyes out crying, like in tears. Like that scene where she's eating the onigiri outside the pig pen. I'm just like have to get a pump for my room because I'm just like family pigs. I'm actually tearing up thinking about it. Oh, no. But yeah, that would be my favorite. Another one that I really love is Tales from Earthsea, because it's
that's a slightly more obscure one. Nice.
For 2 hours and nice music with then some weird like crazy, what was it, Master Corn on the Cob is what I call him. Yeah, that's a great movie. I haven't seen that in years now, but now that it's on Netflix, I'm totally going to watch it. I'm really hyped to watch it. Yeah.
For myself, Howl's Moving Castle would have been my first Studio Ghibli, so it'll always have a place in my heart. But I think like low key, my favorite might be Whisper of the Heart. I've
Ooh, you
from the
guys are
first
into the
time I saw
obscure
that
ones.
one. That one has really stuck with me for several years now since I saw it maybe 7
Did
or
they
8
add
years
that
ago.
one to Netflix or?
I pulled up the schedule here. That one's coming in April.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's too far away.
You just had it to hand.
I pulled it up just to fact check myself.
He's got like a little like a heart key ring, and inside the heart key ring is just the schedule of the Studio Ghibli movies.
I'm a scientist by trade. I do fact checking.
Yeah.
How about you, Maeve? You got a favorite one?
I mean, House Moving Castle is one that I do really love. I think it's between that and then Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh no, don't!
that's
I picked that one up on DVD, thinking it was going to be a happy, magical Ghibli, and then crying in my sitting room in the middle of a Sunday afternoon with like the house full.
But yeah, I like the two for very different reasons. I like Howl's Moving Castle because it's very much about Sophie's independence in the end, and like when it finishes, it's very much a case that, you know, like Sophie frees the prince from his curse, and then the prince is like, okay, I'm cool. If you ever want to like be with me, I'll wait for you. And I was like, that's sweet. He's not forcing himself on her like in so many other forms of media. And then with Grave of the Fireflies, I was just like, this is incredibly sad. And I have very little emotional range. But it's also really...
Please present to me the one emotion and make it big, please.
The one emotion is just...
I'll
How
have
do I
one
explain?
sad, please.
I will give you one sad. And it just comes across like... Ah! It comes across for like very specific reasons, like when Terry Pratchett died, I did the big sad for like a week.
Too soon.
No, I miss him. I never met him, but I miss him.
Yeah, I've been getting some. I recently watched Good Omens on the Amazon, and I was getting the nostalgia for him. Like,
Yeah.
I know he didn't work on the show, but like just that sense of humor. There's no one's been able to imitate it successfully.
And I'm so glad that Neil Gaiman was able to bring it across in the making of Good Omens, and just like, I'm happy with the like level of detail he pushed into making Good Omens the way it is, because that is one of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's a funny one, not to kind of go off on a tangent, but like I've had like Pratchett fans say it's too Gaiman-y and Gaiman fans say it's too Pratchett-y. So they seem to have hit the divide well with the show adaptation.
Yeah, I think so.
Personally, my picks for Ghibli are the recent one, The Wind Rises, and Mononoke. So if they're up on Netflix,
Savage.
You're not going to see me for a few hours now. Just for those.
Might be up.
Please tell me it is.
I hope so, because I really do like Princess Mononoke as well. That's a fabulous.
Consulting my list, Princess Mononoke is coming in March, and The Wind Rises in April.
Yes, excellent. So before we kind of go into any more Ghibli stuff, I want to give a shout out to Mannequin Blue, who has actually been on the show before. She's a good friend of the show. She'll be running events at Shurikon, I believe.
Yes, she not so much events. Mannequin Blue is going to be in our curated content section, and she will be creating over the weekend 2 fabulous balloon cosplays. It's currently a surprise as to what she will be cosplaying, but from
She
her...
didn't say it to us, did she?
We'll keep it a surprise then. I know, and
no.
I can drop the hint. One of the surprises is designed to wind Dara up. So if you know Dara, that's a hint for the Sunday costume.
I don't. All right.
But yes, yeah. They are lovely, and I'm very excited to see them.
Yeah, like, Mannequin Blue.
I only figured out after we got a reach out email effectively, and I was like, oh, who's this? Looked into her. We looked into her, like her socials and all, and it's like she's like balloon cosplays. These are legitimate cosplays made out of balloons.
Oh yeah, I think the first time she did it was actually to come support myself and my fiance at Comic-Con, and she spontaneously came as Harley Quinn and got a huge response, and then turned it, kind of changed her entire industry on it. And then when she came as
That's
Rainbow
really
Dash the
badass.
next year, like she came as Rainbow Dash, and like we didn't get to see her. She was mobbed all day. Like her creations are genuinely amazing.
No, they're fantastic. And like, I'm so excited to actually see her because I've never, I suppose I've never met her or seen her at a con, and I've only seen the images of a balloon cosplay, and like that concept is quite like mind-boggling to me. It's like it's a cosplay made out of balloons, but it's really cool. Like that's such a cool idea. So I'm very, very excited to have her there.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
She's one of the best humans on the planet. You're gonna have fun with her.
Excited to
Yeah,
meet her.
like I've only interacted with her, like organizing her to come, and she's just lovely. Just continuously very polite and helpful, and makes our job so much easier. But
Sure,
yeah,
if you want the sneak hint, she's been the guest on our show, I think the week before you guys were on, actually. So if you want to hear her and Dara talk about corpse paint, that's your one-stop shop on Spotify. Apparently, it's what the heavy metal people wear. But yes,
okay.
she is also an award-winning body painting champion. She painted my fiance's pregnancy baby bump as the Death Star. So she's a good all-rounder. Like,
that's good.
So we are kind of heading into our last few minutes, but I'm very, very excited for the con. Is there anything else you guys want to mention as far as events or anything like that?
I suppose a big shout out.
I think we would be. Oh, do you want to go ahead, Mark?
No, yeah. I think we're on the same page. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Ludo Sport and Kendo.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, Kendo is it's Japanese sword fighting demonstration. So that's gonna be really fun to see. We'll have that on the Saturday and the Sunday, and then Ludo Sports is if for those of you who don't know, it's just Star Wars. It's lightsaber. It's lightsabers. So yeah, very fitting for you. So yeah, there's gonna be two, like I suppose, fighting demonstrations on both of the days. We're gonna have Ludo Sport the days and Kendo both the days. So yeah, you can check them out both days, and they're I'm so excited for that. You know, I'm just gonna have a big amp blaring. What's it called again? The
Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates, Phantom Menace. Yeah. And just that's going to be me for the entire con when I have time.
If you want to mess with them, there's a really lovely version of Duel of the Fates on YouTube that's sung entirely by porgs. Someone took the sound of a porg and like put it through a keyboard and then played the whole thing with just porg noises. It actually sounds quite compelling.
It's either going to be compelling or it might make me want to like clog my ears forever. I can't really tell.
Well, my baby dances to it, so it's got her vote.
Oh, that's adorable.
I'll throw it up. I'll send it to Maeve at the end of the show. But that's very exciting because myself, Dara, and Bryn, and possibly a few other special guests, we have our own panel at 2:00 on Sunday, which is called the Disney Star Wars Postmortem. If you've ever listened to our show, if Star Wars ever comes up, Dara will speak at length and passionately so about how he believes Star Wars was better before the Disney acquisition and things to that effect. Guys, do you have any strong feelings on the newer Disney Star Wars films?
I'm afraid I still don't know a whole lot about them, but I've seen a lot of strong opinions.
Episode 7 is great. Really good. Episode 8 was, how are they going to save this? And then, in my opinion, episode 9 is garbage.
Thank you. But I will pivot slightly and say episode 8 is great.
Oh no! I want to hear the counterpoint.
Counterpoint. Okay, episode 7 was great.
Uh-huh.
Episode 8 was a masterpiece, and episode 9 was disappointing.
I would agree with that.
You thought episode 8 was a masterpiece?
Best Star Wars film.
You're joking me.
All right, second best Star Wars film.
You're joking.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Oh, Finbar, you're gonna. I'm coming for you. Oh, I've still got time. The second this is over.
Sorry, I think myself and Mark are going to have to
throw down,
hijack your panel.
Yeah, it's screw your panel. It's just gonna be Finbar versus Mark, the debate on Star Wars.
We'll put out extra chairs. We want this to be an interactive thing.
Like I can imagine like a whole, the whole, it's like people getting married. It's like, does anybody have any words or forever rest your peace or like whatever? And I'm just gonna ram into that panel being like, I object, and throw down with timber.
Oh my god! And I'm gonna just go, see you later, kid, and vanish.
You're like, oh no, it's time for me.
Back to my island in Skellig.
Like I'll just literally have all the Ludo Sports demonstrators come in with me, and like the panel will turn into a full brawl in the convention.
How amazing would it be if there was someone with a double sword like Darth Maul?
Oh, I'm really hoping for that. I'm so hoping for that. Shurikon's cancelled if that doesn't happen.
Oh yeah. No, we got to make this happen.
Yeah,
you got to have lightsaber fights as people are doing Naruto runs. We got to get a proper. There's multiple levels to Angel Street. We could have it happen.
Yeah,
just have an obstacle course, and half the people are doing the run, and half of the people are trying to chop their heads off with lightsabers.
Works with me. Oh, wait a minute, the insurance isn't filled out.
we could have like a running of the bulls thing where everyone has to do a Naruto run holding spaghetti with your special guest chasing after.
Exactly.
Yeah,
maybe with the other cosplayers in tow.
This sounds wonderful. The more energy, the better.
Yeah, put me on the panel next year. I have many strong ideas.
Well, we'd be happy to have you back next year. Like, you're already so much fun. I can't wait to see what you do on the day.
You may regret that afterwards. They always start well, and then it sort of pivots into what Dara is increasingly calling his group therapy.
Excuse me.
Well, we always try and talk intellectually about Star Wars, and then it sort of gradually goes off the cliff into his wish fulfillment of this scenario where Luke, it's like someone wakes up in the shower and Luke's there and it was all a dream and all that kind of stuff, and all the Disney stuff that got wiped out comes back. Again, okay, we're heading into wish fulfillment, but definitely you'll get a group therapy vibe. We should have really called it that in retrospect.
Star Wars group therapy.
Yeah.
You'll have a bunch of stormtroopers showing up, being like, I don't know, man. I just feel I can't, hit my target anymore, man. I ain't not what I used to be, man.
That's what we're going to do next year. Stormtrooper target practice. Like the gun just.
I thought you were going to say stormtrooper group therapy. I'm like, yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh my god! Well, that has to be a Disney Plus show right there.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
I would watch that. I would absolutely watch that. It'd be better than episode 9 anyway.
Well, no arguments here. But I also want to give a shout out to our friend Straight Outta Kanto, who runs another show. I believe we talked about this a bit off the air. I believe she runs Pokemon battling events in previous Shurikons.
Not quite. She was the winner of our Pokemon League last. Was that last? No, 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Or
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a special event that we ran at the second Shurikon.
Yes, she is our mighty Pokemon champion, and she also produces some very awesome Pokemon art of a slightly creepy variety.
I would go further than slightly creepy, but yes, we became acquainted with her because we attended her horror panel. I believe you were there as well, Maeve, at JCon, and she has since joined the Nerd to Know Media family. So she's going to have a panel called Women in Pokemon, brackets and Evolution, at noon. Are you guys big Pokemon people, or?
Oh, huge! Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious how to what this panel exactly entails. Because when we're going through the panel applications, the description it's not exactly like an essay. It's a brief one-liner on what they're going to do and all that. And it seems to be like a talk on the evolution of women in Pokemon. And I'm just curious to see how that goes, because I love reading anything about Pokemon, to be honest. I'll watch garbage Pokemon videos at 2:00 in the morning just because. Yeah, I love Pokemon.
Excuse me, garbage Pokemon videos? Are we talking playthroughs or
No, just I don't even know. It's I took the Gen 5 characters and made them a little bit better. And that'll go on for half an hour of somebody redesigning the Gen 5 characters or the Gen 3 characters or whatever, or another one. It's like, what if, or the Reggie's portrayed as like every type, that kind of thing. It's garbage, but I love it.
Oh no, I completely agree. I'm just chasing up the name of it now, but a channel I watch is where people are challenged to draw Pokemon just by their names, and I think at least one of them hasn't seen Pokemon, so they have to draw on the spot what they think a Bulbasaur is, and more often than not, it ends up being like men in weird costumes or sentient trees and all this kind of bizarre stuff.
Effectively, what Bulbasaur is. He's a
yeah. Yes, I believe it's the Drawfee channel. 3 artists try drawing Pokemon from memory, and they've a big long series on it, and it goes some very, very strange places. You're not going to look at Pokemon the same once you're through it. But actually, I didn't get to ask. So, are you all 3 of you Pokemon people, or?
I am like a medium Pokemon person in that
Okay.
I've seen a lot of the original series and I have played Pokemon Go, but none of the Nintendo games.
Oh.
I'd be right there with you. I haven't played the Nintendo games since about Gold, which is a sign of my age.
I'm not much better, to be honest. Last Pokemon game I put any time into would have been Sapphire.
Sapphire is good though. Emerald is better. Emerald is way better.
Well, then I gotta ask: do you guys have a favorite Pokemon or two?
Psyduck.
Yes, good man.
That's a hard one.
No questions, no hesitations.
He's been waiting his whole life to shout that on the radio.
He's just like, like when he was 7, it's like my one aspiration in his life is to be asked what my favorite Pokemon is. That you just granted his wish.
To be honest, that was every kid's wish in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon.
I don't know if I'd call it a memory per se, because I don't remember it happening. But a standout moment from the very first Shurikon was someone taking a picture of me in the committee room, and I looked like Psyduck. I just had my hands in my head, in my hands, just staring at a computer screen, just with a huge migraine.
Oh,
I think I know the one you're talking about.
That was the moment I knew Psyduck
that's definitely
was my spirit animal.
So wait, was everyone getting confused around you? Was that also a side effect?
I don't know. Someone took a picture of me and I had no recollection of it until they showed me the picture a couple of weeks later. That's how focused or unfocused I was at that given time.
Yeah. And what about you, Maeve? You got a favorite?
I mean, from my limited knowledge, I just really like Sudowoodo and Bulbasaur. I like planty ones.
Yeah. You got to go with the plant ones. Sudowoodo, I've always found him a bit scary personally.
I think he's great.
I don't know. For me, he's on the Mr. Mime kind of vibe. I think he's slightly too human.
Yeah. No,
I get
his
that,
expression
but he's
is too blank.
pre-proportioned.
That's fair. I'm a Snorlax person all the way. I've got. It's the only thing I've got Pokemon fan art done of is Snorlax. Me and him having cups of tea and that kind of stuff. Actually, it was Mannequin Blue who did it for me. Now that I think of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to bring that in with me. Guys, I'm afraid we are nearly out of time. But before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to say about the con or just about life in general before we wrap up?
Well, about the con, come to the con.
Come to the con. Where and when can people attend the con?
Next weekend, the 15th and 16th of February, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the Saturday and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the Sunday, I believe.
Yes, and then on the Saturday we'll be having from 7 p.m. onwards our charity auction in Whelan's. So definitely come to that if you're over 18s. But yeah, that should be good. It's again our first charity auction that we've ever done. So we're very excited for that.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we will certainly. I will be there all weekend, dressed up as All Might with my family. But we will certainly, the Nerd to Node media team, that is, we will be there at 2:00 on Sunday with our Star Wars group therapy session, otherwise known as the Disney Star Wars Postmortem. Our good friend Straight Outta Kanto will be there at noon on Sunday with her Women in Pokemon. And our other good friends, because it's a big family, Mannequin Blue will be there with her balloons. So we're looking forward to seeing you all there. So this is Kieran Calcon signing off, and each of you say your goodbyes to the wonderful listening public.
Goodbye, everyone.
Later.
Woo! And we will see you the 15th and the 16th. This is Nerd to Know Media. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.